There's a very famous rock in Stilbaai called the Preekstoel. Now, I'm not in Stilbaai because I'm in Dubai. Port Elizabeth, the home of the betting world Algo Cup, run over 2,000 meters, and it's a cracking lineup which we shall get to in due course. But starting off the day, we've got a 50,000 Rand carryover for the quartet, which means that the pool should get to close to R500,000. The second race, of course, sees the start of the bipot, and they're expecting that pool to get to around about 300,000 Rand, followed by the place accumulator. And having spoken to V Mudley, he tells me he's expecting R1 million in the pool for the place accumulator. But the big news of the day is the R500,000 Rand carryover for the pick 6, which starts in race 4, and they are expecting confidently to get that pool to around about 2 million. That is followed by the jackpot race number 5. 700,000 Rand is the talk of the town. The Algo Cup sees 100,000 Rand carryover in the quartet, and they're expecting that pool to get to R500,000 Rand. And finally, last but by no means least, the Super Maxi Quartet carryover in the last race of 100,000 Rand, and they're expecting that pool to get to around about R500,000 Rand. So there's only one place to be on Sunday, and that's at Fairview Racecourse. Alternatively, you can catch it on your World of Winners teletrack.
First leg of the PA, Jacques STRYDOM joins us to chat about his runners. Jacques, you start off with TITUS. Hard luck, stiff second last time out.
Yes, unfortunately he had a virus a couple of months ago. As you can see on form, he's found his feet again. Last time I said to Shannon, if you find yourself in front, let's try, because at home he's a brilliant workhorse. He was handy and got pipped off.
In the betting world, Algo Cup, you have 3 representatives: GOGETTHESHERIFF, Current Event and Pioneer Spirit.
Obviously, all out will be on the Sheriff. He hasn't gone at 2,000. His best form is in the poly, but I think he's 1-2 on the grass for me as well. So the grass shouldn't be a problem if my jockey can sit. Last time out on the 14, I said to him, if you sit till 200 out, he'll be a big runner. And 300 out, he pulled him out, he got boxed in. Eventually 200 out, the gap opened, and he won rather easily. His current event, he won, I think, a 2-7 by 5-6 lengths. Then picked up a virus, unfortunately. So it's all just prep runs for later in the year, or even next year, Gold Cup or Glenlea. But yeah, we need the grass for him, and a 2,000 top division, let's see how he goes. Yeah, Pioneer Spirit, we bought him with the idea of the Algo Cup, but unfortunately in P, all the prep runs on the poly, he doesn't like the poly. In his career, I think he's run 2/4 on the poly at least. Today, we're back on or Sunday, we're back on the grass, and if he brings his work to the track, he could be in the back end of quartets.
Ming Warrior in race 8 showed good improvement last time out.
Yes, he's one of those that whenever he has a good draw, he gives a good account of himself. Last time, good draw, he ran 3rd just behind TITUS. Again, same as TITUS, might be a touch sharp, the 14, but it's a big day on the grass, and I thought if I get a good draw, I'll take my chances. So, good draw, and normally from a good draw, like I said, he gives a good account of himself.
You end up in race 9 with Red Hot Lady. She's really found her feet, but tries a bit further here.
Yes, never gone over a mile, but last 2 starts, she came from off them. Again, featured on the grass, taking my chances. As you can see, she's 1st and 2nd, cracking form, took her runs very well, and I'm sure she'll be there.
Thanks for joining us, Gav. Mr. MATCHETT starts you off in the first leg of the PA.
No, he's needed his first 2 starts down here. I think he'll be better suited to this trip. He's got a lot of weight to carry. I still feel he's reaching his best. Hopeful just to run a decent type of race.
In the 4th, you've got 2, Turbo and Chennai Spice.
Nice coupling. Chennai Spice, 1,000 meter horse. He'll enjoy the 1,000 grass. Much better run last time out over the 5. And he's got plenty speed. He'll be thereabouts. Turbo first run off the gelding. Nice type of horse. He won his maidens very well. And expecting a decent run, although it's a first run off the gelding up. He has had a gallop or 2, and he's looking very well.
Matador in red will represent you in the 5th.
If it was a touch further, I'd be very keen to say he's a very big run on the day. His prep's gone very well. It was a nice run he came from far back last time, ran on late. Just the distance a touch short for him, but if there's decent pace, he'll be running on strong.
Race 6, and you've got 2 ladies, Peonie Rock and Firing Queen.
Peonie Rock's enjoying PE, and I'm just hoping she shows that form she's shown on the poly on the turf. Although saying that her runs on the turf haven't been bad. One run she got interfered with. The next start she was left a bit at the start. So she's doing well in herself. Firing Queen first run back from a long layoff, and she should need the run.
Betting World Algo Cup and STEBBINS will run for you.
His prep's gone well. I mean, he's down here for this race. His staying form is very good. He runs over a lot further. So we're going to have to take our chances, get him up in the pace and go early and use his stamina. He needed his first start. Yeah, he's had a gallop subsequent to that. He's come on very nicely.
Frederick Fox in the 8th, as well as Sun Power.
Frederick Fox, absolute soldier. I mean, everything you ask of him, he always does of his best, and his form's been consistent of late. He's in good order. He's looking tremendous. He loves the Fairview 14 on the turf, so he'll be thereabouts. Sun Power, gave him a little layoff. He doesn't enjoy the poly, so waited for the turf to come back. He's come well again. Got a lightweight he can place.
You end up with 2 in race 9, Van Dam's Force and Night Dancer.
Van Dam's Force, last run was full of merit. She hung a little bit the last bit. I think it cost her the race. Maybe prefer a touch further, but she's working well at home. She's looking good. She'll be in the first 4. Night Dancer, also a filly that gives her best. Always seems to be thereabouts, a length or 2 off them. Fortunately, we're drawn very wide, so we're going to work cut out.
Thanks, Gav. Gavin Fenter joins us from the Tara Lang Yard. And Gav, you start off with Captain Slipper in race 3.
Nadine, he had a couple of disappointing runs, but he did have very good form before that, and he is better over 14. He has run second over a mile, but and also he seems to be better on the grass. They've dropped him 1 pound. I thought they might have dropped him a little bit earlier, but he's definitely got a chance.
You've got a useful coupling in race 5, Silver Image and More Than Grand.
Silver Image, his first run on the poly track, he never enjoyed it at all. Put a line through that. He has performed over 1800, but he would be better over a little bit further. But he, as I said, he has done well over 1800, and he'll run a lot better on Sunday.
And More Than Grand?
More Than Grand also, first time poly track. You know, we got to try this also on the poly track to see if that suited or not, and he hated it, so put a line through that. And he'll also run a better race. As you see, he did run just behind Welsh Emperor, so that on that run he must have a good chance.
And Neptune's Jewel in race 8.
Also, a little bit disappointing. We brought him back to the grass. He has done well over 14. He would be better over a mile, but there is going to be a little bit of a headwind, so I wouldn't leave him out. He's definitely a runner.
Thanks for joining us, Dorrie. Dutch Harbour will start you off in race 3.
He's such a lovely little horse, Nadine, and deserves a win very soon. Rod Matesa is a super patient owner. I think he's going to be better here. This is his optimum 1400 on the grass, I think. And a nice draw, Richard Fury up. I think he's a contender.
Great Waves and a Nugget Counter are next up in race 4.
Great Waves is probably still looking for his, we've decided he's a 1,000-meter horse. He's probably a bit out in the class here, but his work has been very nice, and I won't be disappointed if he's thereabouts. Nugget Counter, strong field here. Also still finding his way with us, but he won't be disgraced.
Moving on to race 5, you have 3 entrants there, Master James, Notting Hill and Clipperton Island.
Master James, same thing, not well drawn, unfortunately, but he is getting there with us fitness-wise, and he's learning our ways. We're learning what he likes and what he doesn't like. Blinkers off as he got a little bit too keen these last couple of runs. Notting Hill, taken a while to come back into himself. He's looking fantastic, and I believe he's looking for this and further. Clipperton, all the talent's there. If he just decides to put his brain to it on the day, nice lightweight, hopefully he'll be running right at them.
Penultimate race is race 8. Here you also have the 2 runners, Armorial and Stir It Up.
Armorial never ever does anything but his best in a race. Maybe he's not the easiest to get to the start and get into the gates, but a little horse with a huge heart. You know, he'll be busting his gut at the end. Stir It Up might be a little bit out here. Also, again, a nice lightweight. I'm hoping to see him doing his best work at the end. He had excuses in his last run. He was affected by a virus, and he's come back nice and fresh now.
Rounding up in race 9, you've got a trio of runners, and Isabelle starts you off, followed by One Love and Diamond Tiara.
Isabelle, we won very, very nicely on the grass 2 runs ago, and then we gave her 2 tries on the poly, and she patently didn't like it. Possibly a little bit short for her, but I think she'll enjoy being back on the grass. One Love done absolutely nothing wrong, going into and out of her maiden, thereabouts. I think this is what she wants, is what she won as a maiden, and very well. 1600, beautiful draw. Samanga up, I think she'll be thereabouts. Diamond Tiara is my most unlucky horse. She's absolutely reefing and jumping out of her skin. We just haven't been able to get her on the grass, and even now again, not well drawn, but she's very, very well.
Thanks for joining us, Yvette, chatting about your runners. Starting off the PA Race 3 Night of Glory, great win on local debut.
He's a nice horse. He took us a little bit by surprise by winning that race, because we really thought it would be too short for him. But he's, I've got to say his work's improved, because we weren't very confident on his work before. So we're looking forward to seeing him run in this race. I would definitely include him.
Race 4, 2 entrants, Pacific Spirit and Pepe Le Pew, and I must say, great to see Pacific Spirit back on track.
Yeah, it's, for him it's very difficult to find a comeback run for him, and I think it's a good place to start. Might be a little bit on the sharp side, but we're just happy to see him back and sound and running again. Pepe, he didn't shape that well on the poly, so we actually, he's up against it, being a one-time winner, so I think it's quite a stiff graduation field this, so we'll just see how it goes.
Agterskot runs for you in the 6th race.
She's having a comeback run. She's been off for quite a while. I'll say this, her work at home is very good.
In race 8, you have Noble Star and Victor Rebellious.
Noble Star is an absolute character. I do think it's going to be a little bit on the sharp side, but when he came down from Lucky, he really put on a lot of weight, and we've been trying to get it off him, but we haven't had too much grass to work it off him. And I'll say he looks like he's a talented little horse, but I do think it's going to be on the sharp side. Whereas I think Victor Rebellious, we won't run him over the mile again, because I do believe that it's too far for him, and he's had his chances now. So yeah, I like him in this 1400.
ZAIDA rounds up for you in the 9th.
Well, her runs for us have been good, but like we said before, her polyform's good, so we're going to have to see how she shapes on the grass.